Hello and welcome back everybody, it's Ali from the Justice Journals, and first of all I want to say thank you all so much for loving the content, leaving your comments, and thank you also so many of you for leaving lovely comments on the rather horrid post where someone just really hates me so much that they had to unsubscribe because of the sound of my voice. Anyway, thank you for everybody else with your lovely kind comments, it's much appreciated. We're not all ironclad here, we all have our off days, and sometimes things like that and comments like that do pull someone down, don't they, even if you don't want it to. Anyway, I bring some rather new and relevant information to you, and I know some of you are going to go, oh my god, because I did as well when I found it just recently. So as many of you know, recently the government have introduced something called the F.E.A.R bill, the Fraud, Error and Recovery bill. And if you don't quite know what that is and you want to catch up on it, I have created an entire playlist for you. I suggest you go and watch it because I'm going to be covering this a lot because it really is very intrusive in so many ways. Now, lots of people have made the big misconception that this only affects people on benefits, and I want to be fundamentally very, very clear here that this affects everyone. And what I'm going to show you today is going to give you even further insight into that. So lots of people have been recently asked for their bank statements from the job centre, people that are in receipt of PIP, people that are on ESA, employment support allowance and things like that. And those organisations, particularly the Department of Work and Pensions, has been asking people for months, 2 years, 5 years, and in some cases 10 years of bank statements, which is just insane. And you haven't been told the truth, I don't think, about why those have been requested. Lots of you have said, when you've asked, why am I being asked for all of this? The answer you've been given is it's to check that you're on the right benefit. And we all know that that is just not true. And today, when I was looking at something in my own bank, I found something even worse. So let me show you that, because if I've got it, I bet you've got it too. So today, when I logged into my bank account online to pay household bills, council tax, water bill, etc., etc., I stumbled across a secret setting. Well, not secret because I can see it, but it's not anything that my bank has informed me of. And this secret setting shares every single transaction in your bank account with certain third-party organisations. Now, don't panic quite yet, don't panic. Now, before I go into this and then I show you exactly where I found this setting so you can go and check your bank account and make sure you've switched it off, unless you want all of the information or the different transactions, which I'm going to show you in a moment, you know, available to lots of different third parties. I think this is literally one small step to giving the government, well, it is giving the government full access to absolutely everything about you, including, as we know, organisations like DWP and others. So let's start with the transactions that they have listed that are going to be shared. Your account balance, every daily transaction, your spending behaviour, trends, categories, habits, all your fees, charges, direct debits, standing orders, regular payments and subscriptions. So obviously that's not just going to be the amounts, that's going to be when you're spending that and who you're spending that with, direct debits and standing orders, as I said, all incoming money, wages, gifts, transfers, refunds, absolutely everything, including credit card transactions, your credit card balance, Even your credit limit and your credit rating as well is being shared. Your overdraft usage, your saving habits, so how often, if you save, how often you save and how much you save and on what days you save, your financial stability scoring, and even any limits that have been put on your account. So this was what I stumbled on today when I went just innocently into my online banking accessibility. Online banking is going to be the key term here, which you're going to see in a moment, which basically is very shortly, had I not have seen this simple setting and switched it off, would have shared all of this information with any third party. So let's get a little bit more into it. And I have to say that this is not like, this for me is not light data sharing like credit score. This is your entire fiscal life, because from someone's bank account, you can tell pretty much everything about their lifestyle, particularly if you do everything online. This is like full access to your life. Literally, I really like, this isn't a question of whether you're doing something right or wrong. It's just that if this information, because it's vast, is misused or falls into the wrong hands or is manipulated in a criminal way, even by organisations that definitely should not be doing that, you're screwed. So I don't agree with that, because it gives the account holder very little protection. It's like walking down the road without any clothes on, isn't it, really? Let's be honest. Now, this is what's shocked me beyond that, is that this setting, I don't even know how long this setting has been there for, because once I found it, I was like, hang on a moment. I have not been notified of this. I have not got an email. It was just there on my account. So let me show you where I found it so you can check yours as well. And then I'm going to show you the information that the bank provided me with. Once I clicked into it, I was like, oh my days, like, oh my days. So without putting my entire screenshot of my bank account up on the world for the world to see, which obviously I don't want to do, this is a tiny little side panel. If I just put it here, I logged into my bank account. So I logged into my bank account, name, hello Ali at the top, your account number at the top, your, sort code, all of that, your balance, and then on the right hand side, and then on the left hand side, you've got transfer from your account to your savings account, and then this was underneath. And I thought, what? Hang on a moment, what's this open banking connections? There we go. I was like, hang on a moment. Open banking sounds very govy, digital ID. I'm pretty sure I haven't agreed to any open online banking, of course. Open banking, what the hell's this? So I clicked on that, and this is what it took me to. Trust me well when I say you're just not going to believe this, because I couldn't. Well, first of all, I came to this screen, which wasn't too shocking. I'm just going to blow it up a bit there. I'm like, open banking connections, right, current, okay, I haven't agreed to anything, so that sounds great. Clicked on history, clearly, right, nothing there. And then it says, you are not sharing anything. See a list of apps and organisations here when you start sharing your account information using open banking. I think not. But then, right in the tiny corner, very teeny weeny here, find out more about sharing your data using open banking. And I sat there and I thought, oh, well, thanks very much for giving me this information about my data being shared. And then here we have it, in this case nationwide, open banking. Open banking is a new way to manage your money. It lets you securely share your banking data with a growing number of companies. Why would I want to do that? Let's get back to it, because of course this is a new government initiative. And that, as you can see, is here, a government initiative to remove the barriers that stop your accounts from working together better when they're held with different building societies, banks, and other providers by safely sharing your account information. Like, you couldn't make this up, could you? You cannot make this up. I mean, this is delirious. Now, as well as it saying there, open banking could unlock the banking industry, making it more competitive, provide more choice for consumers, and boost innovation. I don't know why I have to share my data transaction for that to happen, but this is the other bits, right? So there's a bit there on the open banking website, which is pretty uninteresting. But the next part is open banking directory. Yes, there is an open banking directory that lets you share data about your current account and credit card with third parties that are listed as an approved open banking provider. Now, when I switched on that, I came to here, regulated providers. Who do you think is going to be in charge of regulating these providers? These companies are directly enrolled in the open banking directory and authorised to provide secure open banking enabled services. Now, without going any further into that, when we're talking about the F.E.A.R Act, the Fraud, Error and Recovery Act, and we're talking about buyer persona, your spending patterns, mismatches of behaviour triggering AI systems that are then going to raise, all sorts of hell and fury for people, and hour-long interviews about what this £50 or £25 spend was in your PayPal account, which, by the way, you have been telling me in the comments. I'm not even going to lie, I'm sat on my arse still here going, what the actual hell? And this was a totally random discovery. Like, just, there's been no notification of this in my bank at all. So guys, go and check your banks and switch that damn thing off, because I think very shortly what's going to happen is that's going to be, and I actually think that this is the bank's steady way of not using consumer trust, i.e. you and me, who've got bank accounts with them. They know full well that they are mandated by the government now because of this F.E.A.R Act to share your information with them. But instead of coming out and saying it like that, they've come in the back door, haven't they? They've gone, oh no, we're doing you a favour. We're going to give you better rates. If anybody gets better rates on anything from their bank for sharing every single thing about your data, your banking data and your life, basically, please come in my comments and tell us all. And we'll go over there. But I think not. Now, if anybody is in any doubt whatsoever about whether this is like real or not, let me just bring this to you. This was a bill. I've been covering it for a couple of months now. It was last updated the 3rd of December when I told you all about this. It is now passed in royal assent. And I hope I said that well for the people at the back that keep moaning about how I say my words. Royal assent. It's now passed in royal assent. So this is literally it's there, right? It's law. It's there. It's in. There we go. So very, very, very worrying. So what does this mean when we take that sharing or that like open sharing with the F.E.A.R bill. Now this is my concerns. So I've actually got the F.E.A.R Act. I've got the F.E.A.R Act open here, and it clearly says on this part here, so point 7, and this is all about silently surveying your bank, your account, your transactions, everything that you're doing before actual recovery action is taken. They obviously have to gather evidence. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to secretly and silently monitor your account, and your bank is by law now mandated to comply with this request. So where a notice is given to the bank in reliance on subsection 6, the notice must be given to the other persons as soon as reasonably practicable after being given to the bank. And here is section 26, restrictions on bank accounts. Where a notice under section 21(1), a pre-deduction notice relating to a proposed lump sum direct deduction order or a lump sum direct deduction order under section 17 is given to a bank in relation to a liable person's account, the bank must secure that no transaction takes place except for any deduction under the order. There you go. You've got it in black and white. Now, I just think this has given extensive powers to some organisations that, quite frankly, I don't think this should be allowed. I think there should be a court case. I think the liable person should be allowed to present their case before any of this happens. But no, that's not what's happening. It's kind of all been reversed. So there we go. Anyway, there are so many parts to this, so please make sure you check out the playlist. I am going to be going into this more and more and more and more. As always, put your comments in, put your questions in, the things you want me to go off and scratch away at that surface and a little bit more to find out. And I think my next one I'm going to be bringing to you is which bank account I think is the most trustworthy given all of this, if there is one. So let me know, guys, what you think about all of this. Do you agree with this or do you not?